Hello and what's up, GSC Pokemon Challenges fam? How you guys doing? Welcome to 2024. We got some updates coming in. We're gonna finish this Falkner Minimum Battle Series too, so let's get into it. First things first, here on the broad just results so far, I've split out the Pokemon that use Struggle from those that did not in order to beat Falkner. This is kind of important because obviously using Struggle requires, in most cases, grinding against some wild Pokemon in order to use up PP. Even in the case of that Gengar line, like, yes, we could fight the Pidgey trainer in Falkner's gym and use up our PP there, since they could never damage us with anything other than Struggle. But the problem with that is, the strategy to go into Falkner at the end involved keeping at least one Hypnosis. So that would have required going back out, fighting a wild Pokemon, using up all of our PP except one in Hypnosis, and then going back in order to try to knock out Falkner. So that's the reason why it has to be this way. Those Pokemon absolutely have to be in that section. There is also the situation of Togetic or Togetic, however you want to pronounce it, where it got Metronome. Metronome was finally the move that it used on Falkner, but at the very beginning, it only knows Growl and Charm, so it has to get to actually using Struggle in order to get through the first couple fights before you get to Falkner's gym. So because we use Struggle at some point in order to progress, they're on this list. Now, with that being said, we've got 110 Pokemon that beat Falkner just straight up with their normal movesets, 6 that beat him with Struggle, 60 Pokemon have failed, and today we actually have 17 challengers. Last time I said only 15. You guys called me out nicely in the comments section. It was just purely a mistake on my part. I wasn't thinking about Kingdra and Blissey. Obviously, if we got Chansey, we got to do Blissey. If we've got Horsea and Seadra, we've got to do Kingdra. Got to get the whole Evo line. That's our rule. So we're going to do it. We're going to start this one out with Blissey and Chansey, of course. These Pokemon are going to be kind of interesting. They don't really learn, at least to my knowledge, any good coverage moves via level up. They're mostly special attackers, and yet they're going to have only physical attacking normal moves, I believe. So this could be tough. Then we're going to move on to Tangela. Tangela's probably going to be pretty bad in this section, if I just have to guess. And then we're going to get to Kangaskhan. But after that, we've got a ton of water types. So this is where putting up Pokemon like Remoraid and Octillery up against things like the Horsea Seadra line, the Goldeen Seaking line, I think makes perfect sense. Corsola is going to come in there with these water types as well, though it is a water rock type. That's going to affect things a little bit. I think the evolved forms are definitely getting through. The unevolved forms of like Horsea are going to be pretty walled, if I have to guess, by Chikorita, but we'll find out. Then we've got the Slugma Magcargo. They should be okay, maybe, but a 4 times weakness to ground for Magcargo could be terrible. Then we've got Swinub and Piloswine. We're going to kind of pit Piloswine up against Delibird, though I know Delibird is also very unique. We're just going to see how many of these get through. I'm just going to make my predictions right now. I am going to guess. I'm going to go out on a limb and say 10 Pokemon get through. That's my guess. Out of 17, we're going to get 10 through today. Tell me in the comments, what do you guys think? Broadly speaking, I think this is going to be some pretty tough matchups, but who knows? Let's get into it. All right, so let's get Blissey. We've put it into the Totodile ball here, and we're going to see how our Blissey actually performs. Full disclosure here, I actually did this entire run, and I know exactly what's going to happen in this section. But I realized after the fact that I wasn't recording. RIP. So we're going to do this one again. I basically am going to know the strategy right off the bat. So if it seems like I'm just getting things on the first attempt, it's just because I've actually already tested this extensively. And if I fail, well then I may just call it early because I'm going to say, well, I actually already did like 20 resets here. Sorry, guys. So let's get to Mr. Pokemon's house and progress in the game. So here, Professor Pokemon's going to regale us with his amazing discovery that Pokemon have eggs, as if he's never been to a Pokemon Center before and seen the Chansey standing there with the egg. To get into the Rival 1 fight, we're simply going to take off our berry. We do not need it for this fight. I promise you, we're gonna save the game. Let's get into this. Rival number 1. So here the strategy is we're going to use 2 growls here. We do outspeed. He's gonna growl at us, that's fine. We're just getting him down to doing only 3 damage per hit. And now it's just a matter of landing enough hits. Hopefully he doesn't critical hit us. And we're clearly ahead in damage at this point. So anything other than a critical hit, we will always win there. So we're just going to tell the police that the rival said, ah, as he ran away from us because we just beat him up with a Blissey. Oh, that was super easy. And then Professor Elm, he's just going to be like, oh my God, eggs? What? Yeah, come on. Come on. How many egg Pokemon have there been already to this point, Professor Elm? What kind of researcher are you? Okay, so reaching Falkner's gym, we are of course going to give a berry to our Blissey. And now let's check the stats as we come in here. We are at a level 6 Blissey right now. We've got 48 HP. We know Pound and Growl, of course. We've got 8 in both attack and defense. The specials don't matter even though they're massive. And we've only got 13 speed, so we're not going to outspeed here. Let's get into the Honest Abe fight. So here, what I found in the Honest Abe fight in my testing is that we need to do 2 growls first against the Spearow. That will get its attack down to only doing 6 damage per hit. And okay, there we finally recovered with the berry. We got a critical hit, so that one did not work. Let's try this again here. So once again, we're going to go for 2 growls on this Spearow in order to get it down to 6 damage per hit. Now here we'll get a recover. We also got a critical hit on the Spearow, so that's perfect. And now, assuming it doesn't crit me, I should win. And there we go. We get to level 7. We can move on to the God Rod. Now we level up to level 8, and with the berry on, we actually don't need to do any growls here on Rod. We simply just hold down A and we win. So we've made it all the way to Falkner. This is the point where we do need to heal up one last time. I'm even going to go heal up in the Pokemon Center to get full HP. And now what we can do is simply give the berry that we need to give to Blissey. And we're going to check the stats once again here. We're coming in at level 8. We've got 61 HP at this point. We know Pound, Growl, and Tail Whip. We just picked up Tail Whip in that last fight. And so now we've got 9 in attack and defense. So we gained a whole 1 point in our attack and defense in spite of the fact that we gained 2 levels. But we do have 16 speed, so we're now faster than the first Pidgey. Of course, the specials don't matter in this section, but let's just see if this is enough in order to beat Falkner. So first things first, on the Pidgey, we're going to give it 1 growl here. It's going to have it doing 6 damage per hit. And now we should just be able to pound it down in 4 turns. Now we reach Falkner's Pidgeotto. Here, we're going to give it 2 growls. And after we get the 2 growls off, now we're going to go for a Tail Whip here. And we should have 5 turns in order to knock it out, assuming that it doesn't get a critical hit on me. And this should be just about a 5-hit KO with good ranges. We just didn't quite get it there. Okay, so we get back through, this time 55 HP. Here, let's growl once, growl twice, now Tail Whip. And now we heal up. We can Tail Whip him a second time even. And now let's go into our pounds and just don't get a critical hit. Please, please, no crit. Yes, there we go. So we managed to get through with Blissey. I accidentally named it Blissette. Rip. But here we go. We also level up and learned Soft Boiled. So now we can teach Professor Elm something really dark about Pokemon. That Pokemon come from eggs and you can eat them. Oh, this is terrible. But there we go. We managed to get through Falkner with our Blissey. It's coming through at level 10 thanks to being in the fast level up group. It's going to be a little bit lower leveled than Pokemon in the medium slow level up group because the medium slow group is actually the fastest level up group in the early game. But this one will gain a lot more levels as it goes through. The real question, can we get through to the next section where we've got to take on Bugsy and Rival 2? We will get access to Mud Slaps, so we will have a way to hit the Rival 2's Ghastly. The real question is if healing in battle is going to be enough in order to get through that section. If we can get through, then by the time that we get to Goldenrod, we should be able to get access to some decent moves. And that should be the difference, allowing us to maybe make a deep run with this Blissey. but we'll just have to see. For now, Blissey added to the pass column. Let's get into the Chansey run. All right, so we pick up our Chansey and we can see it starts with the same moveset. Of course, we've got Pound and Growl. The only thing that I noticed is a little bit weird. Chansey doesn't learn Soft Boiled until level 13, whereas Blissey learns it at level 10. Is there a reason for that? Does anybody have an explanation, like in-game, in-universe, why Chansey would not be able to eat eggs while Blissey can? I'm very interested to know. Tell me in the comments. One other disadvantage we have here is we're not going to get Tail Whip until level 9. Yet again, that's a pretty big disadvantage because that means that we're not going to get Tail Whip until we've actually beaten Falkner's first Pidgey, if I recall correctly. So that's going to kind of put us at a disadvantage as well compared to Blissey. The other thing to note about this Pokemon is that it has lower attack and defense than Blissey had at this point. So it's going to be a little less bulky and take a little more damage from everything. So the real disadvantage is that difference in stats, because if you've only got a stat that's 6 and you take away 1 point and make it 5, well, you're going to be at a disadvantage compared to just about everything at that point. So here we're going to take off the berry. Let's try to fight Rival 1. Let's see if we can get through without a berry here. So we're going to growl at him first. Let's give him 2 growls, same as we did with Blissey. That should have him doing 3 damage per hit. This is a speed tie. Oh, he growls at me again. No. So it's really just a question of whether or not we can get more hits than he gets. We are doing more damage, it seems like. And there we go. We do get through on the first attempt. So yet again, Rival 1 gets completely destroyed by a Pokemon with no attack stat. Oh, that's what he gets. So now we're going to introduce Professor Elm to even another egg Pokemon just so that he can freak out even more. Be like, come on, dude. Come on. It's kind of like he never studied the Pokedex before. He just kind of was like, oh yeah, I'm a Pokemon researcher. I don't know anything about Pokemon, but I'm a researcher. All right, so we have made it to Falkner's gym, and just full disclosure, this is as far as I got while I was recording off camera by mistake. So I've only seen through the Honest Abe fight how it's gonna go. But let's check this out and see. Basically, I know what strategy I'm going for here, but let's check the stats first. We're coming in at level 6. We've got 47 HP. We of course know Pound and Growl. We've got 7 in attack and defense both, which is 1 point less than Blissey had. Then our specials are also a little bit weaker, but we've also only got 12 speed. So we're going to be slower than Blissey as well. Not a lot slower, but just a little bit. HP is also 1 point lower. But really, we just have to see if we can get the range to get through here. So what we're going to do, we're going to save the game, come fight against Honest Abe. So here in the Honest Abe fight, the strategy that I found works best is to go for 1 growl. Now we need a critical hit. You see, the 1 growl gets him down to doing 8 to 9 damage per hit. And if we've got 8 HP left there, we're going to get knocked out. If we have 9 HP, then we have just a chance to survive on 1 HP. But even that's not enough. We still need to get a critical hit in order to actually get through this fight. So here we've got 25 HP. He critical hits me. So if he gets the critical hit, it's already an automatic reset. So we're just going to be resetting here for a while, trying to get the critical hit that we need without getting critical hit back. Oh, and there we get through. Yes, with 1 HP remaining, we managed to beat Honest Abe. This is stupid. All right, so we're ready to go. We're healed up. We're going to give a berry for sure here. And coming in at level 8, we've got 60 HP with our Chansey. We have 35 PP in Pound, 40 PP in Growl, but no Tail Whip yet. I think we'll get it after we knock out the first Pidgey, but Tail Whip is necessary, absolutely, for getting through the Pidgeotto. We've only got 8 attack and 8 defense. That's 1 point lower than our Blissey, but that 1 point could be massive here. We've got 15 speed, so we're also just a little bit slower. I think we still outspeed the Pidgey, but if we don't, that could also be a massive disadvantage and could make this a wall. So let's get into this fight. Let's find out. Save the game. This is my very first attempt with Chansey against Falkner. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just try to attack the Pidgey. We're doing so little damage, oh god, and we're taking so much damage. So unlike Blissey, we end up just that one difference in attack was enough that we ended up actually using our berry on the Pidgey. So I think we're going to have to growl at it. Oh, this is bad. We just might not have the ranges here in order to get through this one. So let's try again. Here, we're going to growl first. So that gets him down to doing 5 damage per hit. We get a critical hit as well, but it takes an extra hit to get through there. So we level up to level 9, but we've only got 42 HP now. Here we can growl. Yeah, even with a tail whip on that Pidgeotto, we're just not doing very much damage. And this is an excellent case in point of why DVs are so important, or IVs for those coming from later generations. I'm obsessed with 0 DVs runs because there are a lot of spots just like this in these Pokemon games where literally a 1-point difference in your stats can be the difference between a fight that is pretty reasonable and a fight that is absolutely impossible. And here what we're seeing, yes, we got a critical hit that time from the Pidgeotto, but even with the Pidgey missing one time, we barely can get through with the same amount of HP as we had with our Blissey, and then we're taking more damage. And it's a significant margin in the early game because our defense stat is 1 point lower. So here, even after 2 growls, we're taking 8 damage per hit, and we're doing almost no damage back to that Pidgeotto. So unlike Blissey, which was able to beat Falkner on minimum battles, I think that we basically have to say that Chansey cannot do this. And it's not really a solution to go for Struggle here, because while yes, Struggle is a little bit stronger than Pound, it's 50 base power as opposed to 40 base power, I don't believe it gets access to the same type attack bonus. So effectively, Pound is stronger than Struggle. But there's also another major issue with this strategy, of course, and the reason why Struggle strats cannot work here. Once we knock out the Pidgey, we level up and we learn Tail Whip. That means that we would actually have to use up all of the PP in Tail Whip to even have a shot of using Struggle. And that's never going to happen because unlike Gen 1, where there is a Gen 1 miss, a 1 in 256 chance for an opponent to miss even a 100% accurate move, Gen 2 did away with that. So Gust will hit 100% of the time. That means that we will never reach the point of using Struggle. So Chansey is eliminated by virtue not only of the fact that Struggle is weaker than Pound, but also because of the fact that even if it did use Struggle, it would just end up with a new move adding so much PP that it would just never get through this fight. So what we can say is that Chansey is eliminated. So with Chansey eliminated, let's check our results so far. We can now see that we just went 1 for 1. Blissey joins the winners column, whereas Chansey gets stuck right there in the losers column, right next to good old Coughing and of course Chikorita. These sprites are going to get smaller and smaller as we get closer to finishing this section. The good news is when we move on to Bugsy, it's just going to be these Pokemon that pass that have a shot there. Everything else will already be failed. So yeah. Now let's move on to Tangela, another Pokemon that I think will struggle. This might be our worst start in one of these runs ever, but let's just see. All right, so we have put Tangela into the Chikorita ball so that we'll go up against the Cyndaquil line as we move on. Let's see what our starting moveset is. We've got Constrict and Sleep Powder. Now, Sleep Powder might just give us a chance if we can get the Sleep Luck, but Constrict is incredibly weak. So this is going to be a lot of give and take. Oh, this is going to be bad because we don't have the speed, I think, to actually make Sleep Powder great. If we had egg moves like Amnesia and Mega Drain here, we could probably make this work. It is possible to get Amnesia and Mega Drain at level 5 on an egg move Tangela, but that's something we'll look at when we do the full game solo challenges with these Pokemon. For now, we're going to stick with their normal level up movesets only. I know a lot of people want to see egg moves, but those will just be for separate videos. I do think Tangela is a case where the egg moves will make a massive difference though. My rule with egg moves in general is only to give moves that could be obtained by a single father. So just one generation of breeding, not multiple generations of breeding onto the same Pokemon over and over again, because that sounds way too tedious. But tell me what you guys think. When we do full game solo challenges with individual Pokemon on this channel, do you want to see egg moves? Do you want to see them only if they could be obtained in one generation? Are you perfectly fine with just giving them the best possible egg move set that they could get at the start of the game? Keeping in mind, of course, that breeding also introduces passing down TM moves, but we're not going to use TM moves at the beginning of the game. We're just not going to do that. We're only going to add egg moves if we add anything, but I think it will be interesting to see, especially a Pokemon like Tangela, because the Amnesia plus Mega Drain sounds OP, in spite of the fact that the first two gyms completely wall it. So here we have made it to Rival 1. We're going to take off the berry here. Let's just see how much damage we actually do with our incredibly weak Constrict here, assuming that we can get some sleep powders to land. So Rival 1, attempt 1 here. We're going to go straight for sleep powder. We miss. Okay, now we get to sleep powder. It did leer at me. Okay, the other advantage we have is that we can lower speed with Constrict. So if we manage to lower its speed, then we will outspeed our opponent, and that could be pretty massive. So there its speed finally fell, so we are faster now, guaranteed. So it will get to hit us when it wakes up, but if we can just then put it back to sleep, we might have a pretty big advantage here. Oh, and we miss, and we miss again. This time we don't have a leer on though, so it is doing less damage when it hits us. And there we finally lowered the speed, so we are going to be faster from here on out. Okay, so there we finally knock out Rival 1. That took forever just to win that one fight. Oh, Constrict is so weak. This could be a Pokemon that makes sense to use like a single, or just have a single sleep powder left over and then go for some struggle strats. Oh, this could be terrible though. But there's only one way to find out, so we're going to give a berry to our Tangela. Let's check the stats. We're coming in at level 6. We've got 25 HP. We know Constrict and Sleep Powder. We've got 13 attack, 20 defense, 18 special attack, 11 special defense, only 14 speed. So we're not going to outspeed anything at this point, and this might just not work out. We've definitely got to get a speed drop so that we can hopefully at least speed tie or maybe even outspeed this Spearow, but that's asking a lot. Here, Honest Abe, attempt 1, Peck does 10 damage. We put it to sleep. Now let's see if we can even do any damage here. We appear to be doing 1 damage per hit. So there he did 11 damage, and we can take exactly 1 more hit. So maybe theoretically with perfect luck here, we could eventually get through, but I don't think there's any real way of getting through with this setup. So the only thing to test is if struggle will be enough to get through this fight. Now, obviously, we are going to have to put him to sleep first and get a really long sleep. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it so that we have only 1 PP in sleep powder. Everything else we're going to put Constrict down to 0. Normally it would have 35 PP, but we could clearly use that up against wild Pokemon. That would not be a problem, but we do need at least 1 sleep powder so that we have a chance, because without the sleep, I think this just becomes impossible. So let's save the game just like this, and then let's just see if it even gives us a shot of getting through this fight. So here we are. Let's see if we can land our 1 sleep powder. Okay, there we land it. Here now, struggle is doing 5 damage. So in theory, if we can get 6 hits here, which means Spearow never wakes up, then we might just have a shot here. Okay, he wakes up there. We would have needed a critical hit there, but sleep can last up to 7 turns. So once we get the sleep on, now we're just holding A and praying that he doesn't wake up. So we do heal with the berry midway through. He's still asleep. Oh, we just need 1 more hit. There we go. So technically, we can get through with struggle strats. Is it good? No. Do I advise this? Absolutely not. But it did in the end work. So here, struggle is doing about 6 damage per hit, so it's going to take 4 hits to take out a Pidgey. But this should be possible to get through here with just struggle strats. So there we go. We get through and we get to level 8. Coming into Falkner. Now's where we really have to experiment with PP a little bit. So we're going to heal up, of course, and we're definitely giving a berry. But now let's check the stats very quickly. We're at level 8. We've got 31 HP now. We still only know Constrict and Sleep Powder. But now we've got 16 attack, 26 defense, 23 special attack, 14 special defense, and 17 speed. I think we will be faster than the first Pidgey, which is a pretty big advantage. The question is, do we go for just enough Constricts to get through the Pidgey and then add on some Sleep Powder PP so that we can hopefully get through Pidgey and then put Pidgeotto to sleep and go struggle? Or do we just try to get through with struggle itself? So I'm going to start off by just trying struggle as it is. And then what we're going to do is start messing around with PP to see if we can find a way to get through the Pidgey and have enough PP left over that we can use one Sleep Powder on the Pidgeotto. Let's try this. So first things first, against the Pidgey, it's basically the same as the last Pidgey that we fought. So I think this is going to be a 4-hit KO. He's going to tackle, which isn't going to do a ton of damage here. Now we're on to Pidgeotto. So Pidgeotto has 32 HP here. Gust did massive damage. So we're basically getting knocked out in 3 turns by the Pidgeotto, and we're clearly not doing anywhere near enough damage. Even if we got 2 critical hits there with struggle, we weren't going to knock out that Pidgeotto. So now we need to mess around a little bit more with our PP. That's what he said. Okay, so I've reset so that I only have 13 PP in Constrict. And the whole idea here is that we're going to try to get to struggle at the end. So we're going to go Sleep Powder there, now Constrict. And we're hoping to just get enough hits here. We're hoping to keep this one asleep so that we can get through with most of our HP intact. We can get up to 7 turns of sleep here. So theoretically, if we got 2 7-turn sleeps here, we would only have to get hit once by the Pidgey. But we'll take it if we get through with even like 3 hits from Pidgey. I think is fine. Okay, we're down to 19 HP. Not great, but let's just see. We have 1 more Constrict left. I kept that on just in case we can get a speed drop here on the Pidgeotto, because that would let us outspeed. But now we're going to use one of our Sleep Powders here. Okay, we land the second Sleep Powder. Now we can use Constrict, but we really needed that first Sleep Powder, I think. Here, it's looking to be about a 5-hit KO. Oh, and he wakes up and we get knocked out. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, we put Pidgey back to sleep. Come on. Oh, and he wakes up again. Come on. Okay, that's the last Sleep Powder we can use on Pidgey. Okay, so we get through to Pidgeotto. Oh, we still had 2 Constricts this time. Okay, so we put it to sleep. We heal up. We're using 2 Constricts here. We did not lower its speed, unfortunately, but it is staying asleep so far. Oh, and if we get it just to... Okay, it wakes up there, and we survive with 1 HP. So Tangela, with some very, very luck-based struggle strats, can actually beat Falkner on minimum battles. That was terrible. That was truly terrible. And I'm not sure we get anything better in the next section. So the only thing that we'll have going for us is that we can put Bugsy to sleep while he's using Fury Cutter. Oh my god, otherwise this is just going to be bad, guys. Let's see, in the next section, we don't have any TMs that we can learn that will be useful. So we're also going to have to struggle, most likely, in order to get through Rival 2. This is going to be terrible, terrible. But hey, with struggle strats, the almighty struggle strats have gotten our Tangela through this first gym. That is just beyond stupid. So here, let's just save the game. Let's see the stats of this Pokemon. Oh, Tangela, you beast. You legendary Pokemon, you. Level 9, 33 HP, Constrict and Sleep Powder, 18 attack, 28 defense, 26 special attack, 15 special defense, 18 speed. This Pokemon's bad, but it's through. Oh, that's just terrible. But there we go. We've gotten another Pokemon through. Let me update the list, and then let's move on to Kangaskhan. So there we go. We add Tangela to the Pass with Struggle section. That kind of makes me feel like Maybe if we go back and recheck Pokemon like Venusaur, we did not use struggle strats in the very first episode. So it's possible that a Pokemon that's that strong would get through here, through the first gym at least, if we had just used struggle instead of relying on tackle, which is of course 15 base power weaker than struggle. But we also have to keep in mind that Tangela, just like some of these other Pokemon that have managed struggle strats, had access to sleep. And sleep is pretty massive when you're trying to struggle because it prevents your opponent from also hitting you at the same time. So really the only Pokemon I think that's gotten through with struggle strats without sleep, against Falkner in particular, keep in mind Togetic was already using Metronome at that point, but it was basically just Lickitung. Lickitung was able to get there without sleep strats and knock out Falkner with struggle strats. So that's kind of ridiculous, but hey, we got it. There we go. Let's go ahead and get into the next Pokemon, Kangaskhan. All right, so we've got Kangaskhan in the Totodile Ball. We'll go up against the Chikorita line. We've gone from earlier in the run using Pokemon that had eggs in their belly sack to now having babies in our belly sack. So what does that tell us about the world of Pokemon? Anyway, we will go ahead and get our Kangaskhan. Reminds me of Kangaskhan, my fellow Poketuber. But here we go. Let's just check how we're doing at the beginning. We know Comet Punch, 18 base power. It is the same type move. It's 85% accurate, and it will hit between 2 and 5 times. So this is going to be a little bit luck-based, but given that it is a same type move, I do think it will be enough to get through most of these fights. All right, so it's time to get into the Rival 1 fight. We are going to take off the berry. I don't think we need it in this one. Let's go ahead and just beat him up with a Mama Pokemon coming in. Here we go. So we're just going to hold down A on this one. There's nothing to do. Oh, look at the Comet Punch, though. Even with the Growl, we just knock him out in 2 turns. He gets wrecked. So once again, we're going to come see Professor Elm, and now he's going to say, wait, when did you get a Pokemon that had a baby in the pouch rather than an egg in the pouch? What does this mean? What could this possibly mean for a highly advanced Pokemon researcher like me? How could I have overlooked this for so long? Oh, Professor Elm, you're amazing. All right, so we have made it to Falkner's gym with our Kangaskhan. We are at level 6. We've got 30 HP. Still only no Comet Punch, but we've got 18 attack, 16 defense. It feels so nice to actually have relevant stats that matter here. Our specials aren't really anything to write home about. 11 special attack, 16 special defense. We do have 17 speed, so I think we'll be outspeeding everything by the time we get to Falkner, but we will be outsped by the first Spearow on Honest Abe's team. Let's give the berry, let's try this one out. So there's really no strategy here. We just have to hold down A and hope that we get enough Comet Punch hits. He doesn't seem to be doing that much damage though, so we are going to knock him out without even using the berry. And at level 7, we get access to Leer. Leer, of course, lowers defense, so that could help us later on. Here, for now, let's just beat up Godrod and make our way to Falkner. So we managed to get all the way to Falkner without even using a berry on either of the first 2 trainers in this section. And now we're all the way up at level 8. We've got 37 HP. We now know Comet Punch and Leer. We've got the berry on. And we've got 22 attack, 20 defense, 14 special attack, 20 special defense, and 22 speed. I think we got this. I think we got Falkner right where we want him. Let's try this. So here, our first attempt against Falkner. I'm just going to go all in on attack. Let's just see if it's enough. So we beat up the Pidgey in 2 turns. Let's go ahead and just drop a couple Leers on this Pidgeotto, just because I'm running low on attack PP. Oh, and we missed the first Comet Punch. Are you kidding me? But the second one knocks him out. There we go. We get to level 9 and we have defeated the first gym. Now it does look like we're going to get some moves as we go through this run, of course. Next up is Bite at level 13, so that can help us hit Ghosts. This is Dark type in this gen. Plus Bite, I mean, is a pretty strong move overall. Super effectiveness against Ghost types. That could carry us for quite a while. And once we get to Celadon, we're going to get access to so many moves. We even get Fury Cutter in this next section. I think this Pokemon's going to be really, really good as we go through. We're just going to have to see if we can make it work as we level up. But for now, Kangaskhan, another champion, another winner in this section. It's coming out level 9, 40 HP. We've got 25 attack, 22 defense, 15 special attack, 22 special defense, 24 speed. We're in good shape right now. So with that one being done, now we can get into all of the water types that we have in this one. All right, so we're gonna do Kingdra up first, but then I think we're gonna go a three-way race between the Seadra, the Seaking, and of course the Octillery. I think they all kind of have a decent shot. Corsola is kind of its own thing, being a water plus rock type, so we're gonna put that one off just a little bit. First, Kingdra. Is it as good as it's advertised? So we have put Kingdra into the Totodile Ball. I wasn't really sure where to put it. It's going to resist water, it's going to resist fire, so grass is the only neutrally effective typing. So I guess we got to go up against the Chikorita line here. And we are starting off with Bubble, Smokescreen, Leer, and Water Gun. Obviously, Water Gun is the way to go. It's going to be much stronger than using Bubble. And we could go for some accuracy strats with Smokescreen if we absolutely have to. Great. So of course this year is the year of the dragon, and on New Year's Eve here in Japan they actually showed on TV in the water a seahorse that was sleeping because they say that it looks like a dragon. So that's clearly the inspiration for Kingdra as a dragon type. I think it's one of the coolest new additions in Gen 2 to all of the Pokemon. Of course the steel types are super cool, but having another dragon was also pretty awesome in my eyes. But here we go. Let's go ahead and fight against Rival 1. We're going to take off the berry. Let's just see if we can make it work. So here, obviously, Leer has no effect whatsoever because we don't have any physical moves. I'm going to move Water Gun into the top slot, but I'm actually going to give him a couple smoke screens, given the fact that he's going to resist our Water Gun here. So we're doing about 2 damage per hit, and we're kind of just hoping that we don't get hit very often by him. If we can get lots of misses from him, then we should just easily get through this fight. This is one of those spots where I do think using the accuracy strats makes sense. It's not like we're just getting 1-shot or 2-shot here, and we're doing enough damage that we can make this work. We get through on the first attempt, even without a berry. Fortunately, anything that's not grass type, I think we're going to be just fine to just spam Water Gun. We nearly 1-shot Mikey's Pidgey. And now the Rattata's probably a 2-hit KO here. Very good. And we get to level 6. So yeah, it's really just that resistance that's a major factor here. We do need to get access to some sort of physical move as we go through the run if we're going to have any decent shot though. All right, but we have made it to Falkner's gym with our Kingdra. We're level 6. We've got 26 HP. Water Gun, Smokescreen, Leer, and Bubble is the moveset. We've got 18 attack, 18 defense, 18 special attack, 18 special defense, 17 speed. It's almost like a Mew here. Just everything being almost the same. Let's go ahead and give a berry. Let's try to fight against Honest Abe here. So here we are, first attempt against Honest Abe. We're going to just spam Water Gun this first one. I'm just going to go all in on attack to begin. And it looks like he's doing decent damage. We heal up with the berry and we knock that one out. He was doing 6 damage per hit, so we might not have even needed the berry there. So we've made it, and here at level 8, we've got 32 HP, same moveset as before, but now 22 in every stat except the speed is 21. We will outspeed all of Falkner's team. So it's just a question, is just using Water Gun enough to get through here? Let's try the first attempt. I'm going to give a berry just to be safe. So here we are, Falkner round 1. Strategy is that I'm going to use Water Gun and hit him again with Water Gun. That's a 2-hit KO on the Pidgey. Pidgeotto comes out, Water Gun. He does Gust. That did decent damage, but I think we got this. He's doing 6 damage per hit. We appear to have him in about a 4-hit range, and there we go. We beat Falkner on the very first attempt. It was no problem with Kingdra. And yeah, this Pokemon should be pretty darn good as we go through the game. I think it's got a lot of good moves. It's going to learn Twister via level up, of course, later on. That's really its next level up move there at level 29. So the question is, what do we learn in the interim? And it does appear that we're going to learn Swift in this section, so we will have a neutrally damaging move against rival number 2. So that should be enough in order to get through. But we'll just have to see if that turns out to be the case. For now, Kingdra's through. Let's check out the unevolved versions of Seadra and Horsea, but then let's also check out that Seaking and of course that Octillery to see if we can get all of these water types through. All right, so as we get into the pure water types, let's start off with Octillery. I've never played with this Pokemon before. I think I saw a Scott's Thoughts video on it quite a while back, but we are starting the game with only Water Gun. We don't have any accuracy strats here, so we're just gonna have to hope that Water Gun is enough to get through rival number 1. We might actually need the berry in this one. Here against Chikorita, we use Water Gun and it appears to be doing 3 damage. Okay, and he's doing 3 damage per hit to us though, so this might actually work out. Oh, we might not actually need the berry here. Granted, we can always get another berry. It does appear to be a speed tie here, so having that berry should make this more consistent. And there we go. We managed to get through Rival 1, no problem, with just Water Gun. Fortunately, it is a same type move, so we are effectively 60 base power as opposed to 40 base power. When you cut that in half, it's like 30 base power, but that's basically about on par with using Tackle, so it's not actually as bad as I initially thought. Bubble would be much worse, so fortunately we have that advantage at least. So we have made it to Falkner's gym with Octillery. We're at level 6, we have 26 HP. We know only Water Gun, of course. We've got 19 attack, 15 defense, 19 special attack, 15 special defense, and we've got 12 speed. This Pokemon's mostly meant to be a mixed attacker. The defensive stats are all right though. With no type disadvantage, I think we're getting through this one, but I am going to give a berry just to be safe. Let's fight against Honest Abe and see how it goes. He does 6 damage per hit here, so it does look like we're going to get through. Probably even without the berry, we'd get through here, but we get through on the first attempt easily and level up to level 7. So of course, God Rod was no problem. We give him no respect ever. We can get to the Falkner fight with a level 8 Octillery with 32 HP. We still only know Water Gun. We're not going to get another move till level 11 when we learn Constrict. That's going to be terrible. Here we're going to come in with 24 attack, 19 defense, 24 special attack is actually relevant since we're using water type move here. We've got 19 special defense, 14 speed. I don't think we're outspeeding against the Pidgeotto. We're going to put on the berry just to be safe. Let's see if we can make this one work. Oh, I put an antidote on by mistake. Rip. Swap that out for a berry here. So here in our first attempt, I'm going to try to just go all in here. Just see if the attack will do it. It looks like a 2-hitter here on Pidgey, so that was easy. Now Pidgeotto. Gust did about 6 damage. 5 to 6 damage it looks like is what we're getting. And we knock him out in 3 hits. We didn't even need the berry. Octillery is through the first gym. So now we got to look at the next section. We will learn Mud Slap and we will learn Swift. So we get 2 more moves in this section. We don't even have to rely on Constrict, fortunately. But the real power of this Pokemon is its level up moveset, because it's going to get tons of really strong moves via level up as we go through the run. Octazooka I don't know super well, but it's 65 base power and 85% accurate. But we're also going to get Bubble Beam, Aurora Beam, Ice Beam, Hyper Beam as we level up. And we even get Psybeam. So we get a bunch of like 65 base power beam moves. So clearly Octillery is super OP. But now let's move on to the next Pokemon. We're going to try out our Seaking here. Then we'll get back to Seadra. Then we'll do the unevolved forms. Let's go. So now it's Seaking's time to shine. Let's see what the starting moveset is. Peck and Tail Whip. It's the same as in Gen 1. So this is the water type that doesn't get any water type moves. We're going to be trying to out-peck Honest Abe. This is ridiculous. But fortunately, Tail Whip does actually work with Peck, so I do think we have a decent shot here. And Rival 1's not going to be that hard because we have a super effective move. Let's just see if this works out, though. So funny enough, it is possible to beat Brock in Gen 1 with a Seaking on minimum battles. It all revolves around the fact that in Gen 1, it actually starts off with Supersonic as well. We don't get that till level 10 here, but you know, that's Gen 2. They started to shuffle things around so Pokemon would actually learn moves at decent levels. But in Gen 1, Seaking just has access to that move. So it's all about Tail Whip plus Supersonic. We've already seen a similar strategy earlier on with like Ledion, where we were basically using Supersonic to try to get the opponent to hit themselves But when you can also lower their defense, it uses their own attack and defense stat to determine how much damage they deal to themselves in that case. So Seaking actually is one of those that even on 0 DVs can eventually get through Brock. Here in Pokemon GSC though, I'm not sure that it's going to be as good given the fact that it doesn't have access to that move. So here I'm going to take off the berry. Let's try rival number 1. Let's see how it goes with Peck. So of course Peck is not a same type move, but it is still effectively 70 base power given that it's super effective. We get growled by Chikorita, but even then this appears to be a 3-hit KO. Easy win on rival number 1. So of course we're not just going off of rival 1 though, we're looking much further ahead. Later in the game, it's pretty clear that we're going to be at more of a disadvantage if we're dealing with moves like Razor Leaf from our opponent than anything that we could really get from either the Cyndaquil or the Totodile. So now let's just make our way up to Falkner's gym, and let's see if we can actually make it to Falkner himself. But first things first, let's check the stats. We're here at level 6, we've got 27 HP. We know Peck and Tail Whip, of course, and we've got 18 attack, 14 defense, 14 special attack, 16 special defense, 15 speed. We're not super defensive, but our attack stat is reasonably good, so I think we have a chance to get through this. We're going to use the berry, of course. So here in the first attempt against Honest Abe, I'm going to try to just go all in an attack, and Peck is not doing that much damage. We healed up there. He appears to be doing 7 damage per hit against us. So I think we need to use at least 1 Tail Whip here. Let's just see if this will work. So first things first, he pecks, I Tail Whip. He did 8 damage, so he's doing 7 to 8 damage per hit. Here, after we heal up though, it looks like we've got him in a 4-hit range. So we probably still need a critical hit here if we're going to make this work. The question is, if we're going for a critical hit, does it even make any sense to use the Tail Whip? And there we finally get the critical hit that we needed. So we do take down Honest Abe. And with that, we can make our way to Rod. And of course, he's no trouble. We get through on the first attempt and level up to level 8. So here we can just drop a potion very quickly, even one more. We're going to give a berry just to be safe here. And then let's check the stats as we go into Falkner. We're level 8. We've got 33 HP. We know Peck and Tail Whip still, no change there. We've got 22 attack, 18 defense, 18 special attack, 20 special defense, and 18 speed. If we level up in the middle of the fight, I think we'll outspeed the Pidgeotto. If not, I think we'll still be slower. But we're definitely faster than Pidgey. Let's just see how this goes. So first attempt against Falkner, I'm just going to go all in on Peck first against the Pidgey. It's only doing 3 damage per hit, and we knock it out in 3 turns. Now I'm going to actually try a Tail Whip here on Pidgeotto, and now let's Peck it. We heal up right there. He seems to be doing about 6 damage per hit here, so we should get 2 more hits, and there we go. We get through on the first attempt. We level up to level 9, and now with that section done, in the next section we're gonna get access to Swift, so we will get another move. Obviously Peck can hit Ghosts, which is kind of ridiculous, and we will get access to Supersonic as well. So we're gonna have a few ways to get through the next section of the game, plus Bugsy being bug type. I mean, that Peck could be OP there. But let's just check the stats as we go on. We're at level 9. We've got 36 HP. Same moveset, but now 24 attack, 19 defense, 19 special attack, 22 special defense, and 20 in speed. We're more of a physical attacker, which is kind of interesting for a water type. But yeah, once we get later in the game, we're of course going to learn moves like Flail. We're going to learn Waterfall, which was a signature move of the Goldeen line in Gen 1. And we're going to get to learn Horn Drill. So we could even have some one-hit KO types of situations later on where if we just have the level, we might be able to knock out certain opponents, at least in the middle game. In the late game, I don't think we're going to out-level anything, so it's probably not going to work out, but we'll just have to see. Anyway, Seaking, another Pokemon through this section. We're good to go. Now let's move on to Seadra. So here we're going to get access to our Seadra, and we're starting off with the same moveset that we had with Kingdra. So I think we've got a shot here because we can go accuracy strats. We can obviously use stab water gun. So yeah, this should work out. So just like Kingdra, I'm going to try Rival 1 without the berry on, and just try to use accuracy strats to get through this, but let's see if it works out or not. So first things first, I'm going to move Water Gun into the top slot, and now I'm going to go for a few smoke screens here. I think we want to get 2 or 3 of them on, just so that we lower its accuracy enough that hopefully it doesn't hit me enough times. So every time it misses tackle, of course, we're getting a chance to gain a little bit of an advantage here. We're at about the same damage to each other. So if he just misses a couple more times, I think it's a guaranteed win. And there we go. We beat rival number 1 on the first attempt. Now, obviously, when we get to the rival 2 fight, it's going to be a lot harder, given the fact that we're going to be dealing with a move like Razor Leaf at that point. But for this point, it's perfectly fine. So we've made it to Falkner's gym. Of course, we want to give a berry to this Pokemon, and let's just check the stats as we go into the Honest Abe fight. Level 6, we've got 24 HP here. Same moveset as before, Water Gun, Smoke Screen, Leer, and Bubble. And of course, we've got 14 attack, 18 defense, 18 special attack, 12 special defense, 17 in speed. A lot of our stats are pretty similar to Kingdra's. Obviously, it kind of makes sense. Most of the time, Evo lines are like that, where they keep pretty similar stat spreads. It's just the less evolved forms are usually a bit weaker. But here, we just have to see how we do with this pure water type Seadra here. So against Honest Abe, we're just going to lead off here. The only strategy, of course, is to use Water Gun. Let's see if we can get through without using the berry. Nope, we had to use the berry there, but we do knock that one out easily. It just wasn't quite enough damage to get through without activating the berry. So with Rod going down, we can make our way right here, stand right next to Falkner as we save. We're at level 8, we've got 29 HP, no change to the moveset. Now we're at 18 attack, 22 defense, 22 special attack, 14 special defense, 21 speed. We're going to outspeed everything. I think we got this one in the bag. Let's go. So here on Falkner, we're going to lead off with Water Gun on the Pidgey. Oh, we got a critical hit one shot. Now I'm going to give a smoke screen to Pidgeotto just because I can. It's doing 6 damage per hit, but maybe we can get a miss here or something. Avoid using our berry. Nope, it activated. That's too bad. Doesn't really matter. We're going to win either way. And we add Seadra to the list of Pokemon to get through. Really, water types in the early game, especially if they have Water Gun, aren't that bad. You know, it's really bubble users that I'm worried about in this fight. Seadra just kind of crushed. Just kind of crushed this section. It's going to get tons of good moves as we go through the game as well, since you can learn things like Dragon Breath even later on. It's going to learn Twister. It's going to learn Ice-type moves like Icy Wind or Blizzard as we go through. We're going to get tons of TMs that we can possibly teach to this Pokemon. We're just going to have to see if it works out. But this one, for now, it's made its way through level 9, 19 attack, 25 in defense and special attack, 16 special defense, 23 speed. I think it's going to do fine in the next section till we get up against Rival 2's Bayleaf. That's going to be the real question at that point. But until then, we're just going to let this one through the first gym and move on to the unevolved forms. We're going to go Remoraid first, then Goldeen, then finally we'll come back and check out Horsea. Starting off with our Remoraid, we've got Water Gun. Sorry, it was keeping over the moveset from the last one. We're going to rename this one too. So with access to Water Gun, it's going to be very similar, of course, to the Octillery run. We're just not going to have the stats, of course. But maybe we can get through because it is a same type move. So it is effectively, like I said, kind of like using Tackle against Rival 1. We might need the berry in this one, but we'll just see. Yeah, I just never understood why Remoraid would evolve into Octillery. They're just two completely different looking Pokemon. Now, I understand it's probably got something to do with certain types of fish that live in the ocean, but just never made any sense to me. Again, educate me, guys. Why would this turn into an Octillery? Let's go ahead and get into the fight here against Rival 1. Let's see if we can beat him or not. So we've kept the berry on this one. And I'm going for Water Gun. Oh, we did decent damage there. We're doing about 2 damage per hit. There we heal up. And I think we've got this at this point. Assuming that we can just deal enough damage. Growl doesn't matter since water is a special type move. So there we go. We get through on the first attempt. The berry definitely helped there though. So we've made it to Falkner's gym, but we got to check the stats here because at level 6 we've got 22 HP. We only know water gun. We've got a berry, but here we've got 14 attack, 11 defense, 14 special attack, 11 special defense, and 14 speed. The stats are definitely a lot weaker than Octillery. It's got me a little nervous that because Honest Abe is just going to spam Peck here, we might not get through, but let's see if we can get through even with a critical hit. So here, the first attempt against Honest Abe. Let's go ahead and use Water Gun. He did 9 damage with that first hit. So here we're going to heal up. We're going to get back to 14 HP, but this does not appear to be a case where even a critical hit would get us through. We just have too little HP and we have too little defense. Why would we call it here? Well, because if it's going to take multiple critical hits to get through a fight, I don't think it's worth it. I'm going to try one more time just to see, did I miss anything? Did I misunderstand a critical hit is like a normal hit? I don't think so. Yeah, no, that's a normal hit doing 9 damage there. And it's a reliable 9 damage. We don't have any way to reduce the damage. Struggle strats wouldn't work here. Water Gun is already effectively base 60 power. So a base 50 power move that also damages us wouldn't get us through here. And yeah, it's also the fact that while yes, our attack stat is a little bit higher, it's not going to off balance that enough. So yeah, I think we have to call it right here that Remoraid is eliminated. Remoraid's out. It's too bad. So now let's see if Goldeen can do what Remoraid could not. It does have access to Tail Whip to go together with Peck. So it does have some damage output potential here, but it's not going to learn any new moves in this section, and that has me a little bit nervous. Now we know the Rival 1 fight's not going to be hard given that we have access to Peck, so let's get straight to Falkner's gym with this one. And having reached the gym, let's check the stats. We're at level 6, we have 23 HP, Peck and Tail Whip. We've got 15 attack, 14 defense, 11 special attack, 12 special defense, and 14 speed. The stats are obviously less good than the evolved form, but we're going to give a berry and just see if we can get through Honest Abe here. So here in the first attempt against Honest Abe, I think I'm going to give a Tail Whip first. He did 8 damage with that first hit. Now Peck takes us down below half health, and this one might be another one where we simply can't get through without multiple critical hits. Let's just try going all in on attack just to see how much damage we do. We appear to be doing about 4 damage per hit without a Tail Whip, which would make him effectively a 7-hit KO, and at most we're getting 4 hits here. So then let's see with the Tail Whips just how far down can we actually get him here. So Tail Whip 1, I'm going to even give a second Tail Whip here as we heal up. We should get 2 hits on him here, but that does not appear to be a range that with a critical hit would get us through. We did 17 damage there, and we would need to do another 10 damage. So let's just see one more time with 1 Tail Whip. Maybe with a critical hit we can get through. I'm really just not sure. It's at least going to be insanely close with a critical hit with 1 Tail Whip. So let's just test that out. Let's see if we can get a run where we get that critical hit. And then if we do get it, does it get us in a range where we even have a shot? So there we finally do land the critical hit, and it is just enough to get through. You have to use 1 Tail Whip, and then you have to get the crit. Oh man, that took forever. It says 4 resets there, but I accidentally rolled over the resets counter once, so it's actually about more like 13 resets or so to get through to this point. But we have taken down Honest Abe, so we can heal up, and now we can take on Rod. And obviously he's very easy, so now we just have to heal up, slap on a berry, and it's time to see if we can take on Falkner himself. So here, let's check the stats very quickly. We're coming in at level 8. We've got 27 HP. Holding the berry, we know Peck and Tail Whip, of course. We've got 18 attack, 17 defense, 13 special attack, 15 special defense, 17 in speed. Let's just see if we can make this one work. So here for Falkner attempt 1, I'm going to lead off with a Tail Whip here just because we're going to do a little less damage. We're only taking 3 damage per hit from the Pidgey. I don't think it makes a big deal. But now on the Pidgeotto, I think we need to tail whip this one. We heal up, but it did 8 damage with that first hit. So we're only going to get 2 hits off there. Okay, this could be a wall, guys. So Pidgey misses tackle there, which is actually pretty huge, because that means we're only going to take 2 hits there. Now let's tail whip this one, and let's even tail whip a second time just to see. But then we only get 1 hit on Pidgeotto, and we only did 8 damage, so it's going to be a 4-hitter from there, and it's not going to miss. Oh god. Oh god. So we've made it all the way to Falkner. I just don't think we're getting through at this point. So let's see if we just peck the Pidgey. It's looking to be even a 5-hitter. Oh god. So that does not work. And now on Pidgeotto, it's going to do 7 damage there. We're going to get exactly 2 more hits on it. So once again, we've only got it down in about 20 HP. So this one clearly does not work with Peck and Tail Whip. It simply just can't. So that raises the question, what about Struggle strats? This is a case where Struggle could make sense because Struggle will be 50 base power, whilst our our Peck is only 35 base power. So we're going to try it. So Pidgey will be a 3-hit KO with a single Tail Whip there. Now on Pidgeotto, Struggle without any Tail Whips is doing about 4 damage. Oh, this is not even getting close. Let's try this again. So 1 Tail Whip there. Now 3 Pecks should just get this job done. Cool. On to Pidgeotto. We're going to Tail Whip it once. Heal up to 20 HP. Now Struggle does 11 damage. And then we knock ourselves out with a recoil. So clearly, this probably isn't going to work out. Let me say that. Clearly, probably. But yeah, I think we're just going to give up on this one right here, guys. We got all the way to Falkner, but Struggle just isn't quite enough, I don't think, in order to get through this fight, just because we don't have enough HP. Like, we could sit here and hope for the Pidgey to miss, and, you know, there is a way, a possibility that Pidgey could literally miss us every single turn, and we got to the Pidgeotto on full health, since Tackle does have a 5% miss chance, but it just doesn't make any sense to sit here and reset for it. That's way too luck-based for what we're going for, and even then it looked like we would need a critical hit and some other stuff, so yeah, I'm calling it right there, guys. No way that that's going down. The only, I guess, way to maybe think about this would be if we got a critical hit on the Pidgey, but yet again, I just don't think it's going to work out because we're not going to have enough HP on the Pidgeotto. Either way, we're still going to have to take damage, so we would have to get then another critical hit, 2 critical hits in a battle. It just doesn't make any sense. So Goldeen, sorry, but you're out of there. So now let's see if Horsea can do anything. I think it starts with only Bubble, so I'm pretty sure that it's not. So sure enough, our Horsea's starting with only Bubble, which is only 20 base power, and I don't think we're even getting through Rival 1 with this move, so we may have to go for Struggle strats right there. And then, is it going to be strong enough to get through anything in Falkner's gym? I really have my doubts. So here, let's take on Rival 1. We definitely need the berry in this one, but let's see if even with the berry, it's enough to beat him with Bubble. And Bubble is doing 1 damage per hit. Oh, and he's doing 3 damage per hit to us. So the fact that he's doing 3 times as much damage means that unless he went crazy hard trying to use Growl on us, there's just no way that Horsea gets through this fight and wins. And without winning this fight, we can pretty much guarantee it wouldn't be able to get through Honest Abe. So here, let's try Struggle strats. Bubble is weak enough that it could definitely be used up on wild Pokemon, and who knows, maybe that's just what it takes. So here, Struggle does seem to be doing a lot more damage. He growls at me, but it seems like we're doing about 3 damage per hit even after the growl. And yes, we're taking recoil damage, but it's going to get us through this fight. So clearly we can beat Rival 1 with Struggle strats. Now the question is, do we have to go Struggle strats the whole run? Right now I've set it so that we'll still get PP back in Bubble, and we'll try to use Bubble in the next fight. And I'm not sure if we're going to learn any other level up moves in this section. Let's double check that. But first we got to take on Mikey, and we've got to take on Honest Abe. But it looks like at level 8, we will get access to Smokescreen, and this might be a Pokemon that has to use some accuracy strats. The one big difference between this Pokemon and say something like Quilava, who failed earlier in this challenge, is that at least we will not be getting hit by Mudslap. So we'll be the one lowering their accuracy. They will not be lowering our accuracy. That could be a massive advantage in this one. So here, let's save the game and let's try Honest Abe. We're going to try him first with Bubble Strats with the Baryon. If it doesn't work, then we're going to try the Struggle Strats here. But coming in, we're at level 6. We've got 21 HP. We know Bubble. We've got 11 attack, 15 defense, 15 special attack, 9 special defense, and 11 in speed. Let's just see. I'm very nervous about this. Come on, Horsea. I believe in you. So here, Honest Abe, attempt number 1. Going Bubble. He's doing 6 damage per hit to me. We appear to be doing 5 damage per hit to him. This might just work out. Oh, but we need a critical hit here. Oh, it's so close. If we can get 1 critical hit, this is going to work with Bubble, I think. So let's just keep resetting for that crit. And obviously, if he gets a critical hit on us, that's not going to work. So it has to be a critical hit for us and nothing else on one of the hits. Just one of the hits. We're getting like 5 hits on him. So 5 chances at what? Like a 6.25% chance, I believe, to get a critical hit. Oh, and we lowered his speed that time with Bubble, and it actually let us outspeed, so we did manage to get the last hit on. And there we go. We get to level 7. We've beaten Honest Abe without needing to go struggle strats. That's pretty brilliant. So here we're going to heal up. We're going to drop a berry back on, because I'm not sure Bubble's going to be enough here to just purely beat Rod. So let's see. So there's nothing to do here other than use Bubble. He's doing 3 damage per hit. We appear to be doing significantly more, so it's a 5-hit KO on each of these Pidgeys, it looks like. But we are faster, so we're getting the first hit off, so we only get hit 4 times. This should work out. Without crazy critical hits, we should win every time with the berry. So there we go. We've taken down Rod, and we get Smokescreen. So now we just need to heal up again, use our last berry here, or give our last berry here, rather. Save the game, and now I think we're going for accuracy strats here against Falkner. Let's see if this is actually going to work out or not, but I think we got this. All right, so here, first things first, I think we can just Smokescreen a couple times on the Pidgey. We're just hoping to get it to miss. In fact, we can go really hard on accuracy strats even. So there, his accuracy is all the way down. And now let's see, we're doing... This time it's about 6 damage per hit, so this is going to be a 4-hit range on the Pidgey. We knock it out. Now we want to use our Smokescreens on Pidgeotto. It looks like it's doing about 6 damage per hit here. So we're just going to need to get crazy good luck here. So he misses Gust, but yeah. Our critical hit Bubble did 6 damage there. So let's try again. Try again. So it's honestly only worth it probably to go for a couple of Smokescreens here on the Pidgey, and then to try to knock it out. Try to keep as much HP as we can going to Pidgeotto. So we knock him out there. We've got 17 HP here. He lowers us to 11 HP with his first Gust. Here's where I think we go a little bit harder on the Smokescreen strats, just hoping and praying that he doesn't hit. So we've gotten his accuracy all the way down, -6. And here now we're just spamming Bubble. We get a critical hit there. So we've gotten him down to 14 HP at this point. If he doesn't hit us 2 times, we will win. And we lower his speed. So there we go. We finally managed to win. Horsea. Out of Remoraid, Goldeen, and Horsea, Horsea was the only one that managed to get through. But it did have to struggle on rival number 1. So this is a struggle Pokemon. We already tested out the struggle strats earlier. Obviously, with Remoraid, it made no sense. With Goldeen, it did make sense, but it didn't work out. So we've gotten exactly 1 Pokemon out of those 3 through, and it turns out that it's the accuracy strats that got us through. That's stupid. So here, let's save the game. Let's just check the stats of our Horsea. We're now at level 9. We've got 27 HP, Bubble and Smokescreen, 15 attack, 20 defense, 20 special attack, 12 special defense, 18 speed. That was ridiculous. That was truly ridiculous. We're going to get Leer at level 15, Water Gun at level 22. I'm not sure we get there before Bugsy. And then as far as TMs go, I mean, we're just going to have to hope that Swift does something for us. Rival 2 is probably a hard wall for this one. I just do not see a way that we get through that fight. But hey, we got through one gym. One gym down. Horsea, you struggling legend. So let's go back and see our results so far. We've got 6 Pokemon remaining, but so far we've gotten 116 Pokemon through Falkner legitimately. We have added a couple more Pokemon to the struggle section. And on top of that, we've added quite a few Pokemon in the fail column. We're up to 63 now. Kind of surprising to me. I guess I'm more surprised that Horsea got through than that we failed with Remoraid and with Goldeen there. I kind of understand when unevolved Pokemon fail here. We've seen kind of this pattern where evolved forms get through, unevolved forms don't. But every now and then you just find something that is kind of hilarious. And hey, Tangela using struggle strats to get through here, and Horsea using some struggle strats to get through Rival 1, and then using accuracy strats. That was kind of ridiculous. So there we go. We got through that massive gauntlet of water types in the middle game. I'm going to come back and do the Slugma and Magcargo now. Then we'll look at the Swinub and Piloswine and Delibird, and we'll finish out today, I think, with Corsola, just because I want a little break from water types. Let's check out Magcargo. Let's see how he goes with his 4 times weakness to Mud Slap. So of course we've put Magcargo right here in the Cyndaquil ball, so we'll also have a 4 times weakness up against our good rival with his Totodile. Let's just see. Our starting moveset here is Smog, Ember, and Rock Throw. So we have a super effective move to use in this section. Oh, this could work out, guys. I mean, Rock Throw was buffed quite a bit from Gen 1. Gen 1, it was kind of a joke move because it was only 65% accurate. But here, I mean, they buffed the accuracy in Gen 2 so that we can actually use that move. And given that it's the same type move, it is going to effectively be 75 base power, even against our rival. It's going to be even stronger than that once we get to Falkner's gym. We might be one-shotting things here. If we do, then we might not even have to worry about that 4 times weakness. It's also worth noting that Smog does open up some opportunities to go for some poison strats, as we saw with Wheezing. So this Pokemon might just have a decent shot here. I'm going to take off the berry. I don't think we need it against Rival 1 since we're rock type. He's not going to do very much damage with Tackle, or Scratch in this case actually, but let's just see. So first things first, Rival 1, I'm going Rock Throw here, and it's going to do decent damage. I'm going to move Rock Throw into the top slot even. He's only doing 1 damage per hit to us. We're doing significantly more to him. So there we go. We get through easily against Rival 1. So we've made it to Falkner's gym. This is one Pokemon though that I don't think there's really any point showing anything other than Falkner himself. So let's just break down the stats when we get there. We're not even going to use a berry on Honest Abe. Let's go. Yeah, that was an easy 2-hit KO, and now we're going to just beat up Rod, and Falkner might be a challenge. So there we've made it to level 8, getting to Falkner. No berries used. We're already up to 28 HP. We're a fire rock type, of course. Rock Throw being super effective against these flying types is amazing. We also have Ember and Smog. We've got 15 attack, 26 defense, 20 special attack, 20 special defense, and 12 speed. Obviously, we're a slug Pokemon, so we don't get speed here. That could be our major disadvantage. He is going to get to use at least 1 Mud Slap on us with each of his Pokemon before we even attack. But let's just see. First attempt against Falkner. So here in the Falkner fight, I'm going to lead off with Rock Throw, of course. And we hit the first one. It's not quite a one-hitter. I'm going to use Ember to finish this one off. There we go. Now on the Pidgeotto, it's also going to Mud Slap me. Oh, that did a lot of damage too. So he's doing 10 damage per hit. We're only going to get 2 attempts at hitting him there. Oh, this could be bad, guys. I don't know. Maybe we just go through for Rock Throw and pray for crits. Here, we're able to knock out the Pidgey, and we missed the first Rock Throw. Let's just see how much Rock Throw does here. Oh, it does look like it's a 2-hit KO if we can land both of them. So it's 2-hit KOs on both Pokemon. Of course, a critical hit on the first Pidgey will one-shot it, but this is just going to come down to accuracy luck, basically. Like, I think if we even miss one attack, we just have to reset here. So first Rock Throw. Then, like I said, we're going Ember just because it has higher accuracy. And then Rock Throw hits there. We need one more Rock Throw to hit. And there we go. We get it right there. So Magcargo, even with the 4 times weakness to Mud Slap, manages to beat Falkner. It took 5 attempts, but that's really not that bad. And, you know, we're through that section. We're going to get access to Mud Slap in the next section as well. By a level up, I don't think we're going to get any new moves in this next part. We're not getting another move until level 22 where we get Harden. But hey, we'll take it. We got through. We're not going to struggle too much, I don't think, on Bugsy. So it's going to be all about Rival 2. Rival 2 could make or break this run. Because if we're just getting wrecked by his, whatchamacall, if we're getting wrecked by his, it's not for alligator, what is it? If we're getting wrecked by his Croconaw, I swear to God, I play Pokemon, I remember their names. But if his Croconaw just comes out and completely destroys Magcargo, well then that's going to be GG, end of the run. But hey, we got through the first gym. Second gym should be a cakewalk. So it's all about that Rival 2 fight. Let's just see if we can get it or not. So now let's go back and see if Slugma can do what Magcargo's done. So let's see how Slugma does. It's starting off in the Cyndaquil Ball, and its starting moveset is only Smog. Oh god. Do we even get Ember in this section is the question, because Smog could be terrible. Terrible, I say. So it looks like we get Ember at level 8, which it means just when we're going into the Falkner fight. We are, of course, only 1 times weak to Mud Slap as opposed to double weak to Mud Slap. But this one I'm not sure is going to work out. Without the super effective Rock Throw, I just don't see how this one is actually going to be a win. So I'm going to leave the berry on for this fight because I'm not sure if we're getting through or not with Smog. Let's try rival number 1. So here Scratch did 6 damage. Oh, we're getting damaged so much. We have poisoned his Totodile. Oh, he gets a critical hit there though. And Smog is so inaccurate. We're really banking on the chip damage from poison and not getting critical hits. Let's see if we can do this again here. There he leers. Okay, he's doing 7 damage per hit here. We're gonna heal with the berry. We do poison him, but one more hit and he's gonna knock us out here. The issue is that Smog is super inaccurate. It's not a same type move, and it's only 20 base power anyway. So I think we gotta try Struggle, guys. I think that's the only way we get through this section. So we'll leave the berry on, and now it's time for Struggle strats on Rival 1. So Struggle seems to be doing about 4 damage per hit now. We will heal up with a berry right there. He's doing a lot of damage against us though. Even Struggle strats does not seem to be getting this Pokemon through. And if we're not even able to get through the very first trainer in Rival 1, there's no way we're getting through Falkner. We're not getting through Honest Abe. Our defense clearly is not good enough with at only 9 defense at this point. Our attack's only 9. We don't have a good move. We're not going to get a good level up move. I think we eliminate Slugma right here. So Slugma joins the fail column, while Magcargo surprisingly made it through. 4 more Pokemon to go. Let's compare Delibird up against our Piloswine, then we'll see if Swinub even comes into play, and finally round out with our Corsola. First up, I'm going to do Delibird. 'Tis the season. Let's learn about present, guys. What do you say? So I decided to put Delibird inside of the Chikorita Ball, so we'll go up against Cyndaquil's line later on. But let's just see how this actually works with presents. Everybody loves presents. Let's see. So the effect of present, if we check this, is that it's a bomb that may restore HP. So it may restore HP. Oh, this could be terrible. Or it could blow up. So we just have to hope that we deal damage and not heal our opponent. Maybe. So I've obviously never played a Delibird before. When I played Gen 2 way back in the day, I pretty much just stuck with my starter. I didn't get much further into it than that. I've said many times on this channel, but when I was younger, of course, I was madly in love with Gen 1. And Gen 2, when it originally came out, was actually a disappointment for me. I just didn't feel like it was in the same spirit as the original games. They tried to nerf too much, they tried to change too much, they tried to appease competitive too much. I just wanted the excellent story and the excellent feeling that I had when I played the very first Pokemon games, right when they came out. It just didn't give me that feeling originally. You know, I didn't even really think they needed new Pokemon initially, to be honest. But hey, I've learned a lot, grown a lot. Now I'll say Crystal's growing on me quite a bit. But let's just see Delibird. Let's see how we do against Rival 1. So here is his Cyndaquil. We're going to use Present. It did massive damage. We knocked him down to 9 HP. That one did not do nearly as much. That did like 4 damage. And there we finally knock him out. It was a 3-hit KO. We did not use our berry, so that's fine. We're just going to have to see if we end up needing the berry or not. So fortunately, it does look like we've got plenty of TM compatibility as we go through the game. So, you know, we're going to get things like Mud Slap, things like Swift in the next section. So we will have moves, not just have to rely on Present the whole time. But even if we did have to rely on Present, that would be pretty hilarious. Eventually, I'm sure we would get through. Surely, clearly. So here we have made it to Falkner's gym with Delibird. We're coming in at level 6 with 23 HP. We only know Present, of course. We've got 13 attack, 12 defense, 14 special attack, 12 special defense, and 15 in speed. We're not going to outspeed anything. We're going to keep the berries on and just hope that we get the luck here against Honest Abe. Let's go. So Honest Abe, attempt 1. Here, Peck does like 8 damage. Now, Present also did like 9 damage. So now we healed him, though. Oh, God. No, don't heal him. I'm sure there's a damage calculation of like how much max damage this move could do. But clearly healing the opponent is not what we had in mind. So sometimes it seems like we do very little damage. Sometimes we do decent damage. There we heal again. Oh, but then we get a critical hit and we knock him out. Delibird, you legend. Oh, the best Pokemon, clearly. The greatest legendary the game has ever seen. We're going to give the berry just so that we have a way to maybe survive if we get bad rolls. To heal and then to get the crit was amazing, though. Let's try this on the God Rod here. So Present did decent damage there and there. Oh, and then we heal it. No. Oh, and then we miss Present. I think Struggle would be far more consistent here, but I guess that's kind of the point. Can we get one more hit? There we go. So we do get through the God Rod on the first attempt. I'm going to go heal up so that we have all the PP in Present. We don't want to struggle right away. Come on, no way. Let's try Present first on Falkner. So here we're going to give one more berry. We're going to save the game, and let's check the stats here. Oh, Delibird, level 8, 27 HP, Present, 16 attack, 14 defense, 18 special attack, 14 special defense, 19 speed. We should outspeed. If we can level up, we'll outspeed everything. But let's just see. Falkner, do you want a Present, buddy? So here on attempt 1, Present did decent damage there. Not quite as much there, but we do knock out the Pidgey. Nice. We did not use our berry either. We are faster, but we take 8 damage per hit from this Pidgeotto, and then we heal it. Good job. And he's gonna knock me out the first time, it looks like. Yep, he got me. He got me, guys. We survived with 1 HP. I thought we might get the critical hit. Present boom again. So here we're doing decent damage to the Pidgey at least. So 3 hits to knock that one out yet again. We're faster than Pidgeotto. We damage it with the first Present this time. Damage it with the second, damage it with the third, and we get the fourth. Delibird grows to level 10 and has defeated Falkner in only 2 attempts. That was hilarious. That was great. Oh, the rod fight just kills me. Okay, so we're at level 10. We've got 32 HP. Present still going into the next section. We've got 19 attack, 17 defense, 21 special attack, 17 special defense, 23 speed. And like I said, we're going to get access to some moves in this next section that should help us. We're going to get Swift. We're going to get Mud Slap. So we've got two consistent ways to damage opponents, but we can always just go for Present in order to try to mess with things. And then, I mean, is Present a normal type move? Let's see. Yes, it is normal. I'm assuming that means that it can't hit ghosts. We'll find out if that is in fact the case when we get to Rival 2. Otherwise, we're going to be going for some Mud Slap strategies. But hey, we got Delibird through. That was fun. Let's now get into Piloswine and see if it can win. So here, once again, Piloswine, we have put it into the Chikorita Ball since we'll go up against the Cyndaquil line this way. And let's check our starting moveset. We have Horn Attack, Powder Snow, and Endure. Very, very interesting. Obviously, Powder Snow should be super effective, and it's the same type move. So that's probably our go-to once we get to Falkner's Gym. Horn Attack is better in cases of neutral effectiveness, of course, since it's 65 base power. So here, let's take on Rival 1. I'm going to take off the berry. I don't think that Piloswine's going to need it, but let's just see. So Rival 1, Attempt 1, we're going to go for Horn Attack first, and it looks like a 3-hit KO. We wouldn't even get to the berry even if we had it on. Easy victory. I gotta say, one thing I really did like in Gen 2 was that they added in these extra moves of the same types. So something like an ice move like Powder Snow that kind of bridges that gap of not just everything being completely overpowered and with the weakest move. I mean, they had the same thing with like the ground type in Gen 1, where Dig and Earthquake were both 100 base power. Just kind of made no sense. But here in this one, I mean, Powder Snow, it's 40 base power, but it's good on the same type Pokemon. That's exactly what I like to see. So here, I'm going to go ahead and give the berry to Piloswine. Let's just check the stats very quickly as we come in. We're at level 6. We've got 29 HP, Horn Attack, Powder Snow, and Endure. Don't think we're going to be using Endure much in this section. But here we've got 18 attack, 16 defense, 14 special attack, 14 special defense, and 12 speed. Let's just see. I mean, Endure, I believe, just allows us to survive, right? It's kind of, yeah. So it always leaves you at least 1 HP. That could work out in a case where like there was a status on an opponent or something and you just need that extra turn. But yeah. Here, let's get into Falkner's Gym. Let's see if Powder Snow just destroys these Pokemon. So Honest Abe, round 1, I'm going Powder Snow. He's only doing 6 damage per hit here too. The super effective Powder Snow looks like a 3-hit KO. Easy victory. Didn't even use our berry. So let's just beat up on Rod and get to Falkner. And just like that, we've made it. We're at level 7 here. We've got Horn Attack, Powder Snow, and Endure still. 21 attack, 18 defense, 15 in both specials, and 14 speed. But given that we have the super effective move, I think we got this in the bag. Let's just see. We've got the berry on, but let's see if we just first attempt Falkner here. So here we're going to go for Powder Snow first. We freeze the Pidgey, so it has no shot against us. We level up to level 8. Now we're still slower, but Powder Snow looks like a 3-hit KO here. In fact, it's a 2-hitter, and we've beaten Falkner with Piloswine. Wasn't even hard. Wasn't even hard. Easy game. Now let's see if Swinub can do what we just did here. Of course, in the next section, I believe we will get access to Mud Slap, which will give us another same type move here. Sure enough. So we'll have a decent moveset going into the next section. Powder Snow will be super effective against Scyther on Bugsy's team, and we'll have enough coverage, I think, to get through everything else. So let's just see. Maybe Cool Lava will turn out to be a wall and I don't know it. But otherwise, I think we're going to be pretty good with this Pokemon for a minute. Anyway, let's save the game and see how Swinub does. So getting our Swinub, it's going to start with only Tackle. Are you kidding me? we don't even get any of the moves of our evolved form. Like if we had Horn Attack, I'd feel great here. We just don't get anything. What is this nonsense? What is this Tackle nonsense? So we don't get Powder Snow until level 10. So we're not even going to get a move that will be any good until after Falkner. This Pokemon might already be out, guys. It might already just fail. So I'm actually going to leave the berry on here since we only have Tackle. Let's see if we can get through this fight. We just got a critical hit that did 7 damage there from our rival. And he gets another critical hit. Are you kidding me? And then we miss. Oh, God. Oh, Swinub. You were supposed to be better than this. You were supposed to at least have Horn Attack. Come on. So here he leers at us. So now he's just reliably doing 7 damage per hit. Okay, we get the miss there, but then he knocks us out with a crit. I think we need not to get hit with Leer and maybe to have him miss 1 or 2 tackles. I mean, if he just misses tackle enough times, we could win too. But it's not happening there. Oh, God. Oh, this is terrible. Even Rival 1 is hard. Who would have thought that this fight would be hard? So I guess we go for struggle strats, guys. I mean, I'm sure with perfect luck we could get through with tackle here, but we just might need struggle the entire time, honestly, if we're gonna have any shot. So here I'm gonna save the game just like this. So here we heal with the berry. He's doing about 4 damage per hit there. So struggle does get us through. That's probably pretty reliable. Granted, if he didn't use Leer against us, we might have gotten through with tackle as well. So in a run like that where we get no Leers, we probably could have won either way. So tackle should be enough for youngster Mikey at least. Let's just see. Here we're just pretty easily getting through this, but I think it's just because of the fact that he has such weak Pokemon. Oh, but there he actually knocks me out. Rip. So here let's try youngster Mikey again, this time with struggle strats. So we get through the first Pokemon, but the difference is that struggle's 100% accurate and it's going to do more damage. So we get through that time and get to level 6. But I think we just stick with struggle strats from here on out. If we're going to have any shot whatsoever, I think we're just going to have to hit a lot of struggles and not take too much damage in return. This is where Honest Abe could just prove to be the wall. But I don't think we get through if we don't get through with struggle. So coming here into Falkner's gym, we're at level 6. We've got 23 HP. We only know tackle, but we've just given ourselves 0 PP so we can struggle. We've got 12 attack, 11 defense, 10 in both specials, and 12 in speed. We don't have a lot of defense. I don't think we're getting through this, but let's see. So first attempt against Honest Abe. He's doing 9 to 10 damage per hit, which means we're getting like 3 hits off on him. And yeah, that is not going to work. Not without crazy critical hit chances. So I think we can just call it right here. Swinub out. Does not get through this. Not a chance. So Piloswine succeeds. Swinub fails. That is what it is. We have beaten Falkner with 119 Pokemon. We struggled to beat him with 8 Pokemon, but hey, that's 127 total. 65 Pokemon have failed so far. Oh, but we've made it all this way. Last Pokemon for today is Corsola. Let's see how it goes. The rock water typing, and I'm not sure what its starting moveset is. So for Corsola, I've put it into the Totodile Ball since we'll have a 4 times weakness then to Chikorita. We probably won't get through Rival 2, even if we get through this section. We're starting this with only Tackle. Oh God. So fortunately, Tackle does mean that we shouldn't take very much damage from normal type moves. So I'm just going to take off the berry. Let's fight Rival 1 and see how it goes. This should be a pretty easy win though against the Chikorita. Tackle did 1 damage to us. We are doing, it looks like about 3 damage in return. So this is going to be an easy victory. Basically 100% of the time, even if he growls at us, doesn't matter. So we get through the Rival 1 fight. We shouldn't really have any difficulties until Falkner himself, but let's just see. So we get to level 7 and learn Harden after beating Honest Abe. With the berry, that is a consistent fight. There's really no reason to commentate it. Let's just beat Rod and get to Falkner and we'll check our stats there. So we have made it to Falkner with Corsola. This is the part where I'm very worried. You see, we're level 8, but we're a water rock type Pokemon, so he's going to want to use a lot of Mud Slaps against us. We've got 29 HP. We know Tackle and Harden. We've got 16 attack, 21 defense, 18 special attack, 21 special defense, and 13 speed. That 13 speed means that we're actually going to be outsped by the Pidgey on Falkner's team, so we don't even get the advantage of getting the first hit in. And the super effective Mud Slap, while it's not going to be super strong, could be the decider here. Now, we do know Harden, so we could try Harden strats to try to get their damage down way low, and then just hope to land enough hits. But let's see. First, I'm just going to go all in on attack here. Oh, I was wrong. We're actually in a speed tie with the Pidgey, but we're still going to take a lot of Mud Slaps here. So we've kind of just got to hope and pray that we can get through this. We get to level 9 right there. But of course, our accuracy is very low. We're taking 5 damage per hit from this Pidgeotto at this point. We already used our berry. So I think we're going to need some Hardens in this one. Let's just see. So it looks like we're taking 3 damage per hit pretty much no matter what we do. So we probably can't use too many Hardens here. And Pidgey has just taken us down way too far, I think. Let's try another reset here. So I think we'll go for a couple Hardens and then we'll just go all in on attack. So we get the first Harden up and second Harden up. These Hardens are all about the Pidgeotto, not the Pidgey. They're not affecting Pidgey's damage output at all, which I'm pretty sure because it's a super effective move, we can't get it to do anything less than 3 damage, even with all of the Hardens set up. So here we've made it to Pidgeotto, but we've only got 11 HP, and Tackle is doing about 7 damage. So it's going to be a 5-hit KO here. We're going to have to be able to land 5 tackles on Pidgeotto to have any shot whatsoever. Really, 4 with a critical hit could get us through. So we just don't have enough HP here to ever get through this. So we can try Struggle. So just a couple Hardens and then go into Struggle strats. But that's really our last Hail Mary attempt here. So that's what we're going to try. We're going to try 1 Harden and then Struggle. And let's just see how it goes. So we're going to Harden first. Now we Struggle and we're just hoping to hit. And obviously we're just having trouble hitting. We're going to need God tier luck with actually hitting moves. That's the other issue here. You know, it always feels like when you use accuracy moves on opponents, it hardly affects them at all. But when you use when you get hit by these accuracy moves, it always feels like you just struggle so much more to get through. So there we finally knock out Pidgey, level up. But now the question is, can we even hit? Let's see, we did 6 damage there with Struggle. 6 damage again. So at 6 damage per hit, we would be needing 7 hits to get through here. So if we don't get the 7 damage range, if we only get 6 damage ranges, like it is technically possible that we could just hit everything every single turn, but that is probably more luck based than trying to get multiple critical hits. So I'm going to give this just a couple more attempts and then we're going to eliminate Corsola. Not saying it's impossible, but keep in mind this is a max DV's Corsola. This is the strongest possible Corsola at this level. So if we're struggling this much to get through Falkner, then it's just not practical. You would be far better off just going and leveling up, getting access to maybe a move even as weak as Bubble, just to have it, and then, you know, being able to hopefully outspeed and knock out the Pidgey fairly quickly so that you could then just focus in on the Pidgeotto. You're going to deal with the accuracy regardless, but if you got them down to doing, say, 2 damage per hit, or if you could survive more hits or, you know, knock them out in 2 hits instead of like 4 hits, that's really the name of the game here when you're dealing with accuracy. So, yeah, we're going to listen to Jingle Bells while we get destroyed by Falkner here. He's doing 5 damage per hit with Pidgeotto there. So, yeah, Corsola, not happening. Not happening. It's too bad. It's a cute little Pokemon. When I do a full game solo run with it, we'll definitely grind some levels, and I think we'll be able to get through, but just doesn't do anything there. So let's update our stats and find out which Pokemon we're doing next time. So next time, guys, we are coming back with only 1 Pokemon. That's right. Next time, we are running only Unknown. But we're doing Unknown very specifically because it has hidden power, and there are lots of different types of hidden power. So what we're going to test out is an Unknown with each different hidden power type. We're going to give them the strongest version of that hidden power. It can be maximum 70 base power, but we're just going to see how many unknowns can actually get through the Falkner gym. They're obviously all going to have similar stats, but by changing our hidden power type, we also have to change our DVs, which means that this is a case where we're going to see some types do really, really well. Some types that we might think would do decently, at least, like they might be on the cusp, might lose just because they have worse stats. So we're going to test that out in the next one. It's going to be kind of interesting. So there's going to be a whole bunch of unknowns, trying all of the different typings. I think that hidden power can be any typing other than normal in this version of the game. I'll double check it, but let's just see. Let's see if unknown can actually manage to beat Falkner's gym, and we may end up having to make our own little unknown decks of the unknowns that can actually get through. Anyway, that does it for this one. Tell me what typings you think of hidden power will get through the next time. I'm definitely banking on ice and electric, but keep in mind, unknown is a psychic type Pokemon, so we're probably not going to be dealing with any mud slap ridiculousness next time. It's just going to be purely about whether or not we can deal enough damage without getting knocked out, and maybe the best unknown gets knocked out and then we just know that they all fail. Anyway, that's next time. See you in the next one. Later.